So thank you guys so much for joining me today. First, I'll have you guys introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit about what you guys do with the Georgia Historical Society.
I'm Christy Crisp. I'm the Vice President for Education and Programs at the Georgia Historical Society, and I work with education and programs. The programs that we do for teachers, students, and the public.
I'm Stan Deaton. I'm the Senior Historian at the Georgia Historical Society, and I do a variety of things, writing and editing, and just kind of making sure that we are consistent in our message, whatever that is.
Absolutely. So first I'll have you guys have a big day tomorrow, Georgia History Festival. So we can talk about that, and then I want to make sure that if people see this after Friday, they still have a way to connect with that information. So first, tell me about the festival. What is that for someone who's new to Savannah or just has never experienced it before?
The Georgia History Festival is the signature K-12 educational program of the Georgia Historical Society. It is actually months worth of events, resources, and opportunities for people across the state. But February is the founding month of Georgia. Georgia was founded on February 12th, 1733, and so because of that, we have a lot of events that take place in February. And so as we approach February 12th, which is next week, we have a series of events this weekend, including the Georgia Day Expo on Friday, the Colonial Fair in Muster this weekend, and Super Museum Sunday on Sunday.
Awesome, awesome. Anything you want to add from the history side?
Well, yeah, we have every year we focus on a particular person or theme from Georgia history, and that's what drives the curriculum, and a lot of the school kids focus on that. This year we're doing something called Governing Georgia Across 3 Centuries because Georgians have been in one form or another governing themselves since 1733. So we're focusing on how that's changed across 300 years, who across the centuries, decades, has been allowed to participate, who decides who gets to participate, how they go about doing that, who got the vote, the struggle over the vote, the struggle to participate in democracy. That is, of course, ongoing. So we're focused on that this year. Some years we'll focus on an individual like Jackie Robinson or James Oglethorpe.
Mm-hmm.
So that theme, which is all, of course, history-based, changes every year.
Yeah, and so will people be able to interact with this information, these moments outside of Friday, outside of the festival?
Yes, we create classroom resources that are available to students and teachers, and those are available beginning with the new school year. So those have been available since September. We have a series of teacher trainings on how to use those resources, and they are available on our website, which is georgiahistoryfestival.org, for anybody that would be interested.
Yeah, and I probably should have started with this, but for people who don't know anything about the Georgia Historical Society, what should they know? Where should they go to find more information?
Well, you can go to georgiahistory.com, which is our website, and it's brand new too, by the way. We completely have updated and revamped it, so it's got a fresh new look. So please go and check it out. Specifically about, and that covers really literally everything that we do. It's sort of like touching the elephant. We're a lot of things to a lot of people. We're a destination. We have a fabulous research center that has wonderful sources in Georgia history that people can go to. We do a series of programs that are often sort of public-facing out around the state. We administer the state's historical marker program. We publish, we do podcasts, we do videos, so there's all kinds of ways for you to experience the Georgia Historical Society. Specifically about the Georgia History Festival, you can go to georgiahistoryfestival.org and really get a sense of everything that entails, as Christy has talked about, a series of events, curriculum, our Georgia Trustees Gala, which happens in the spring every year, our featured theme or character, all the teacher training that we do. So there's a lot of different ways. But like a lot of the world now, the web is probably the best place to go to sort of learn about that.
Yeah, so there seems like there's a lot to do for Friday. One thing I want to ask is, you said that Georgia was founded in February, but February is obviously also Black History Month. So will you guys have any curated content that's kind of specific to that, or is it just an overall history?
We have an overall history, particularly with this theme, like Stan said, Governing Georgia Across 3 Centuries really integrates the totality of Georgia history, because it's a goal of the Georgia Historical Society to tell the complete story of Georgia's past, and we do that through programs like the Georgia History Festival, where we're able to look at key moments and people and how it is all of our shared history that brings us to today.
Yeah.
And for instance, one of the videos that we created around this theme this year is really about the struggle to vote and how that has changed through the years. And of course, we talk about Jim Crow, we talk about the Civil Rights Movement, we talk about the ongoing struggle, with the women's rights movement in terms of how that shaped the suffrage movement and how the right to vote for some people has come remarkably late. People are always, for instance, stunned to find out that most black women in America couldn't vote until the passage of the Voting Rights Act in 1965. And so that's just this year and sort of how we bring that together. But you're right, it's Georgia History Month and Black History Month, and when it works real well, when we can really intersect those, we have done so. But we always strive to make it all about not just the founding of Georgia, but really a much more diverse story.
Absolutely. So this might be hard, but what is your favorite Georgia history fact? What's something that has always taken you back that you might have found out in the recent years, recent times? What's something that stands out to you guys?
Well, I don't know that this is a Georgia history fact, but it is a fact now that Georgia is the largest state east of the Mississippi River. That has not always been the case, and people don't really, they go, oh, really? How could that be? Well, it's because, you may recall, during the Civil War, West Virginia broke off from Virginia. And so Virginia used to be the largest state east of the Mississippi, and now it is Georgia. And it's still very surprising to a lot of people that Georgia is bigger than New York or bigger than Pennsylvania. But in terms of landmass, it is. Now, as I said, I don't know that that's really a historical fact, but it does come out of one of the most traumatic events in our history. That's when Georgia became the largest state. And of course, it's always, had sort of an outlying influence in politics. We've seen that recently, right? That Georgia is, all eyes of the nation are turning to Georgia, so we continue to play kind of this important role in American politics and social life, really, because Georgia's changing every day.
Yeah, and I would actually just kind of add to that, Georgia was one of the original 13 British colonies of North America, and so Georgia history is American history, and I think that we're really fortunate at the Georgia Historical Society and as Georgians in general to be able to look at the totality of American history through the lens of Georgia, because it has been such an integral part of the entire American experience. And so I think it helps us do our jobs to be able to talk about American history through this very special and very unique lens of Georgia.
Awesome. So you mentioned the website. Any other ways that people can interact with you guys? I know that you have the site here, but also one in Atlanta as well. So could you kind of give people the background on how they can find the Georgia Historical Society?
Well, finding us online is absolutely the easiest way to do it. But we do, as Stan said, we are a library and archives. We are a research center, and we are open to the public. And so anyone can come in and make use of the collection to do research, whether that is family history research. We have genealogists, we have documentarians, we have reporters, journalists, and authors who come in and do research in the collection, and anyone can do that. But of course, because we are not a museum, we are a research facility, our materials are online, and so people all across the state can interact with us that way. He mentioned that we also administer the state's historical marker program, and so we are constantly putting up these new historical markers, telling stories about communities and people throughout the state. And so when you drive by and see one of those markers black with the silver letters, you are interacting with the Georgia Historical Society and the work that we do.
Awesome. Anything you want to add?
Just that we're located in downtown historic Savannah. We're on the northwest corner of Forsyth Park. So it's really it's a beautiful facility to walk into. It's a beautiful library that dates from the 19th century, so all are welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Anything we didn't talk about that you guys want to mention?
Just this weekend, we've got some events going on past Friday. You're right. On Saturday, the Colonial Fair and Muster is going on at the Wormslow State Historic Site. There is a fee for admission on Saturday. February 10th, but on February 11th, it's Super Museum Sunday. And there are well over 100 sites across Georgia, not just in Savannah. Coastal Georgia, the St. Simon's Lighthouse, for instance, open free of charge. Most of these are from 12 to 4, but again, go to georgiahistoryfestival.org for a full list. But this is one of those days that really, it's a smorgasbord. I mean, there's so many things you can do, and they're free.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to it. Thank you guys both for joining me today.
Thank you.
you.